What's up guys, Brian Phobos here, back for another video. I want to talk about EOS prices and help you guys out mentally here and just kind of where we're at in this crypto market. Also want to talk about a couple other things I've been looking at. Been doing a lot of research the last couple, 3 days. I think you guys would be interested to see a little bit of this. So let's look at one thing, and again, I'm not a technical analysis guy that looks at micro trends and tries to draw these lines and stuff like that. If you guys have been following me for a while, a lot of that is pseudoscience. You got guys like Tone Vase still calling for a lower low and all this kind of stuff. Nonsensical, but if I wanted to get more views, I would put up 3 videos a day doing fictitious technical analysis and and then give wild price predictions and these kind of things. So I try to avoid doing that at the expense of my views and my ad revenue, but trying to be truthful, and hopefully you guys recognize that. I think you guys do, so I really appreciate that. So let's look at the total market capitalization of the entire crypto market. And obviously we had the boom in 2017, 2018, and then the blow off, and then we've started to come back up. Now the crazy thing is to look at kind of what has happened in the past. It's kind of insane because this 2013, 2014 market, that was huge. This move was huge over here, but then it's just like it's a blip on the radar. So let's zoom in there and kind of take it all the way up to into 2017 when we started to go up. So stretch this clear out like this, and let's go clear over to this, and then you see, this starts to look a little bit bigger. But if we're trying to say that 2015 is like 2019, because again, the crypto market seems to play out in a 4-year time frame. It goes 1 year down, and then it goes up for 3 years, essentially, with the greatest move being in the last 6 months. And that seems to have kind of played out here a few times. So if history repeats itself, which it for the most part has, kind of see where we're at. If you take yourself into late summer and fall of 2015, you still had these very, very low prices. The market was still down a lot. It wasn't until the end of 2015 when we started to kind of climb more, and 2016 was just a steady increase, and then it wasn't until 2017 when the overall market cap exploded, and then this stuff just went parabolic. Now, again, let's zoom out again because I just captured the very, very smallest part of that, and so, you go all the way back out, and this, I only went to right there, and then the move went clear up here for all overall market capitalization, and it went up to basically $800 billion, shy of $1 trillion. And this next time it's going to go to a multi-trillion-dollar market cap for the overall crypto. Now, in 2013, 2014, what we had, the thing that was kind of somewhat scammy kind of coins were all these Litecoin clones. The only one that, there was a few that survived, but one of the main ones that survived was actually Doge, or Dogecoin, as some of the Canadians like to say, and I do like to say Dogecoin. So anyway, most of them kind of went away. Now, in this boom and bust, we had all the ERC20 tokens that were all these ICO scams. I mean, 95% of the stuff was scams. And, it was very, very obvious to me when I would read some of these white papers that it was just scammers who found out about crypto 2 weeks prior and wrote something up. And then it was crazy because they were, gaining hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in their ICOs, and then didn't come out with a project, or just ultimately exit scammed altogether, which is pretty sad. So obviously, you're going to see collapsing Ethereum price, you're going to see collapsing overall prices, and then we repeated the same cycle. Now the next boom and bust cycle will be very similar. There will be a new set of companies, a new set of scammers. There's just going to be more. It's going to be it's just going to be, a magnitude of probably 10 times what this last boom was. So now again, if 2015 was terrible, it was a crypto nuclear winter, it was just And I know a lot of you guys, there's a lot of people that have checked out, and it's just like, this is exhausting. I'm waiting for EOS prices to go up. I'm waiting for this or that. I'm waiting for, these things. Now, we did have an earlier surge a little bit. Obviously there was the Litecoin happening. There was a ramp up towards that. There was, Montero came off of its bottoms. Most of the stuff came off its bottoms, and obviously Bitcoin has been kind of the front runner, and we're at this 68.1% Bitcoin dominance. Now, I don't expect that to hold over the long term, because simply Bitcoin development is so slow, and I know, again, people are going to say, like, well, the Lightning Network's coming up. They've been talking about Lightning Network since 2015. So you got to understand, like, from my perspective, it certainly seems like an eternity of all the arguing and all this kind of stuff going on. And you have to understand that the economic incentives for things to get done don't align between the miners, the developers, the investors, and that's one of the things that we kind of see happening. In 2015, it was very apparent that there was going to be scaling issues with Bitcoin. The block size probably needed to be increased. That was the immediate thing that could have been done. But obviously the miners, as the fees went up on the Bitcoin network, they wanted to keep those high fees. And it was like, well, we can finally recoup our investment. We like these fees at the detriment of the overall at the detriment of the overall network. And obviously in the run-up of 2017, it was absurd, trying to send $10 worth of Bitcoin, and it's you're going to have to spend like $70 on a fee or something. It was just essentially unusable, and that's why we had the Bitcoin Cash hard fork. But that in itself is partially out of greed. It's like, okay, you get one group, and then they want to fork off, and they want to have control. Those in power want to retain their power, and those who are not in power want to establish power somewhere, some kind of dominance or power. And we'll continue to have that kind of thing happening. But as it relates to EOS, I want to tell you a couple stories going back to the last boom and bust cycles. So Montero came out in 2014, and one of the things was there wasn't a graphical user interface wallet. There wasn't a GUI wallet, and we only had a command line wallet. And there was a point where some of the developers started to wireframe out what the wallet would look like and all that, and so we get excited, and it was just, you're always waiting for it, and thinking, man, when this comes out, I think the price is going to go up because people are confused by the command line wallet. And it took over 2 years to come out with a GUI wallet. It just there was things that had to be done before that. If I remember correctly, the whole blockchain was being stored in RAM. So every time somebody would start up a node, it was storing the entire blockchain and the whole history of all transactions in RAM. And eventually the RAM requirements were going to get bigger and bigger as time went on. That had to be fixed. That had to be addressed. And then nobody was getting paid or anything. So it took 2 years to come out with the GUI wallet. For the most part, there was mymonero.com, which allowed a web interface to a wallet, which was useful. But it just, it took a long time for things to happen. You always wanted it, like, thinking it was going to be around the corner, and it never was. And I think the same thing with EOS. I mean, I was surprised that in the announcement that, with voice, that they weren't actually launching the product when they were doing the announcement. So yes, that was lackluster. You would have expected the product, or that it was shortly going to come out, and it still isn't out. But it might be a similar type situation of what we saw with Monero back in 2014 through 2016, in that they want to come out with EOS IO 1.8, the next iteration, and then once, that is out and that is working, that is going to, provide a better situation for voice to operate on the mainnet. So I don't know. That's just all speculation, but I think a lot of people, they become impatient, but in the grand scheme of things, these are very, very short time frames in relation to, returns in the stock and option market and returns in real estate and other, other markets. So right now, I'm going to say it, we're getting kind of our third chance here to take our positions. Second or third. A lot of times markets will give you 2 or 3 chances to take a position and build your position, and it can kind of fake you out. If you get the first one, let's say December of 2018, let's say that was your first opportunity, to cost average in, and those were the ultimate lows. And then maybe some of these coins are going to kind of fake you out at this point because maybe they've pulled back. ZCash would be an example. You got another chance with ZCash because even the positions I was taking in ZCash back in December of 2018, we're kind of close to those numbers right now. So you got a shot there. You got a shot to pick these things up at very, very close to the kind of lows that we were seeing back in December. Digibyte is another one, and then, but the thing is, you can turn negative on a lot of these and say, well, when Digibyte is going parabolic and it's going up to 9-10 cents, then people are going to say, oh yeah, Digibyte, and everybody's excited. But then right now, since it's sinking under a penny, then people are like, well, what does Digibyte really do? It's Digibyte, it's not new, it's not exciting, and then their confidence and their conviction towards these cryptocurrencies wanes. But that doesn't happen to me. So, well, it happens sometimes, and you have to be realistic with yourself, and you have to put your money where you think it's going to be best invested. The most logical thing for someone to do, if the safest, most conservative approach would be obviously to invest in, your top cryptos. Because if you think about the way people view this stuff, they go to CoinMarketCap and they see this stuff that's top on the list. They see these see these top 10. So, and then when they go to Coinbase, even if they're not like checking CoinMarketCap all the time, let's say they go to Coinbase, they're going to see the things on Coinbase. They're going to see the things on Kraken. They're going to see the things on Gemini. And that's where their main investment's going to lie. And then they're going to think, well, can I buy a whole Bitcoin? Well, maybe they don't have that much money to invest, or they're not unsure of it. What if the government bans it? That's going to be the ongoing thing that's going to, I know some of you guys are going through this in your head. Whoa, what if, maybe gig's up. The gig's up. The government's going to ban it. Bangladesh already banned Bitcoin, And you're going to think, well, what if Trump says it's banned? You're going to go through that. So mentally, you're going to go through that thought process. And, but conservatively, if you just invested in, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, all that kind of stuff. Binance Coin isn't on Coinbase, of course, but you do have EOS. You don't have Montero over on Coinbase, but, you got Stellar, you don't have Tron. But what I'm trying to say is that when people are viewing this, unlike the stock market, they're viewing these ones with the highest market caps. Now, to a certain respect, yes, you do have the Dow Jones. People could just track that index, or they could track the S&P 500, which would obviously be a larger batch. And tracking the S&P 500 is actually a pretty solid strategy. If the overall market seems that it's going to go up, you can go long on the S&P 500. And if you think it's going to go down, you could short the S&P 500. So, and you could just kind of set and forget it and just wait for it to play out over years. Same thing with crypto. The easiest strategy that's going to save you a lot of time would just be if you decided, okay, I'm going to put $500 in, or I'm going to put $1,000 in, I'm going to put $10,000 in, whatever your threshold is, whatever's a lot of money, whatever's an amount of money that isn't going to affect your life and stuff, you could just invest in it and set it and forget it, and just pretty much come back to it when every Joe Blow is talking about how amazing crypto is. And it's going to be a repeat. Oh, this is the future. We're going to hear the same things that I was hearing in 2013, 2014, and maybe the same things that you were hearing in 2017. Or maybe you're even newer to this. Maybe you just joined on. I mean, there's definitely new investors coming in, and there's going to continue to be, that are just finding out about this, and they're like, wow, this looks like the future. And they're going to pour in. And they're not even going to understand the technology behind Bitcoin, Ethereum, EOS, none of this stuff. They're just going to buy it. And psychologically, when they see these price points of something like EOS, oh, that's so cheap. I've seen this. I've seen people think through this and say this. I've seen a lot of people think through this and say this. And when Bitcoin prices get kind of crazy high, which it already is, the thing they're going to struggle with, this digital coin is worth, close to $11,000. Like, how is that? I mean, I don't understand. Why is it worth that much? They're going to go through that process, and they're like, well, I would like to own a whole one, and then they can own a whole Ethereum, or they can hold entire Litecoins. They can hold entire EOS. How they could get 10 EOS, they could get 100 EOS. That's going to be the psychological process. The lows, the BTC dominance got as low as around 34% during this last boom and bust. I expect that to repeat itself. Now, the only thing that's the caveat is if we do get a Bitcoin ETF and it's structured properly and it is actually forced to buy Bitcoin and actually have like full reserve holdings and not any kind of fractional reserve kind of thing, that would generate huge demand from retail investors that are out on the stock market and already have money in their brokerage accounts, yada, yada, yada. But we've been talking about a Bitcoin ETF since 2014. So this, to me, this stuff is broken record. But the one thing that you can bet on, once again, this is the last boom and bust. Boom. And you saw me, if you have to go back in my videos and look at the orders that I was placing in late 2018, you'll see that I was trying to light up the order book almost on a daily basis. I was putting in orders. I was putting in orders. Now, I've waited. I've seen how things are going. And guess what? I'm going to be putting in more orders soon, because this is probably going to be one of our last chances to really take a very, very low position. And some of these dip down. Again, what I said, Digibyte is one thing I'm looking at. Under a penny. And I mean, let's just go. I should have had this queued up. Let's just go to my video that I made back in, late 2017. And you'll see the screenshot for Digibyte. If we go clear down. And where is it? Okay, that's too far back. Digibyte, right here. Is Digibyte a good buy right now? And you see it had the boom, and then it had the blow off. And guess what that price was? It was 1.2 cents. You got a chance to buy Digibyte right now at a lower price than I was taking my position on Digibyte back in mid to late 2017. And then it ran up to 10 cents. So, there you go. I'm going to be retaking a position in Digibyte. So don't buy before I buy. But I'm going to be making some moves here, is what I'm trying to say. And, this is, sometimes you wait. There's going to be people who wait and get frustrated. And yeah, sure. I would love if EOS was at $10 or $15 or $20 or, this kind of stuff. But it isn't. Is it $4? And so there's another opportunity for me to buy even more. And I'm pretty deep in EOS. So, I'm going to keep going, keep going deeper. But again, like I said, let's see ZCash. ZCash. And again, ZCash is on Coinbase. It's on Gemini. It's on Kraken. It's on all the major exchanges. Whereas in the last boom and bust cycle, it wasn't. She didn't have as much liquidity. You didn't have as much support from the exchanges. And now we got a chance. So let's look here. Late 2018 to now. And let's go over here. Mid-December, $51, $49. And let's go over here to right now. $55, $55.25. So you're kind of close. Percentage-wise, you are kind of close to the lows that we saw with Digibyte and the other. And I know what you're going to ask me. You're going to say, well, should I just invest in Bitcoin? Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a plausible route, but always an investment. It's very standard to stay diversified, and I like to stay diversified with different code bases, and I like to stay diversified with different type of projects, obviously upcoming projects and stuff like that. Technically superior to Bitcoin is Ethereum. Technically superior to Bitcoin is Litecoin. Technically superior to all of them is EOS. Period. So that's that. You know, and you guys can do what you want, but I'm solidifying my future, further solidifying my future to a life of absolute freedom. You know, and that's what I've been doing. If you guys been following me and following my buy orders, if you have to go back again to my channel and you go back, buying more crypto, question mark. Am I stupid or do I know? 8 months ago. You can watch these videos. More crypto buys. Not safe for noobs. You know, was buying more. Buying more crypto. Crypto crash party. Just kept buying. And these weren't even all my buys. You know, but I knew it wasn't my first rodeo. Here's another one. How many Litecoins? So, you know, and those things have played out. Now, am I always going to be right in the crypto market? No. But all you have to do in investing is be right more than you're wrong. And you'll win. Come out ahead. And so, you know, in this last run-up, EOS went to 8. Did I sell any? No, I didn't. Litecoin went up to about 138 or so. Did I sell any before the halving? No. I was actually in California. I was away from my keys, away from my private keys. Really couldn't take action to sell it if I wanted to. But at the end of the day, there's going to be 84 million Litecoins. You know, that's all there's going to be. There's going to be 21 million Bitcoins. So economically, and just some of the currency crisis that we're going to be seeing as a continued thing in this world economy, as more people come on board on the internet, as more people have hyperinflation in their countries, governments printing money like crazy, trying to print their way out of problems, crypto is going to look like a solution. And it already is a solution for a lot of countries. So in the United States and in Canada and stuff, it's primarily a speculative investment. You know, it's 95% speculative investment. And if you steer clear of the scams and, you know, time is on your side in crypto. Time is not on your side in something like athletics. You know, you just ultimately get older and, you know, your body might wear down and stuff. Time is on your side as far as crypto. Let's just say that. So if you're patient, keep looking for opportunities, you're going to be okay. Now, another couple things I want to mention. If you're out on Steam, DTube has went over to its own blockchain called the Avalon blockchain. Some interesting economics that they're going to be putting into play over there to make videos, you know, actually be focused on the content and that kind of thing. And you're going to be able to get payouts unlimited, not just 7 days. So to reserve your username that you had on Steam over on DTube on the new chain, you need to go over to DTube and do that by the end of the month. But the other cool thing is when you post videos to DTube, you can also post to the Steam blockchain and earn from the DTube Avalon chain, and you can earn from the Steam blockchain. So that's kind of interesting. Just want to make you guys aware of that if you didn't know. And you know, what's something else I was going to say about that? I mean, I guess that's that as far as DTube is concerned. And you know, I wanted to say something else about the overall crypto market. Well, I mean, going back to Bitcoin again, you know, there's people, and what I see is their thinking will actually go along with kind of the price action of late. So the last, you know, month or two, you know, all the focus kind of been on Bitcoin. You know, Bitcoin dominance went up and stuff. And so then suddenly they start thinking, oh, I should become a Bitcoin maximalist and forget about the altcoins. Trust me when I say this. In the next boom, the good altcoins, percentage-wise, will go up more than what Bitcoin is able to go up. Because psychologically, it's just people will not be able to afford one, and they want to have at least one, or they want to have a half of one, or, you know, these kind of things. And then they think, well, what's the next one? Maybe I kind of missed it. And then they're going to see that the fees are going to go out of control on Bitcoin. It's going to go out of control again. I guarantee you that the Lightning Network won't be ready. This has been going on for 10 years. Bitcoin has not scaled that much in the grand scheme of things. It actually was working better in 2013 when I found out about Bitcoin than it works now. So, and during this boom and bust cycle, that still hasn't changed. Let's look at Blocktivity right now. Let's look at Blocktivity. Should already had it pulled up, but I didn't. Okay, look. The Bitcoin network. Okay, it's at 98.27% utilization. So it's almost 100% utilization. But just think when things start to surge again. Of course, it's going to be at 100% utilization. And, Ethereum is typically close to 100%. Right now, it's at 53%. So you got some leeway there. EOS obviously is doing more transactions, and there's more activity going on the EOS network than any other blockchain ever in the history of the world. So you do have that. But, Bitcoin would be a good investment if you just invested in Bitcoin, as long as there's not some kind of some kind of exploit that happens that affects Bitcoin but doesn't affect Montero or doesn't affect the delegated proof of stake chains like EOS or Steam or something like that. But also, one thing I want to say about Steam, there is the hard fork coming up at the end of August. That's going to change the economics. Personally, I don't think it's going to change it for the better. But with anything, there could be a opportunity to now, okay, in the time that I've been on Steam, it's went from 3rd place on CoinMarketCap clear down to now 82, but it's been down to 85 and stuff like that. But this could be an opportunity if the price is way down, and I think that it's going to drop below 10. Now it's going to take a couple months for that to happen. I think it's going to drop below 10%, and that might be an opportunity to jump in there, have a decent amount of power, and ride kind of a resurgence potentially. But it's hard to say. That's a more speculative investment at this point, I must say. You're better off with these top ones. Like I say, how many EOS, how many Litecoin, how many Monero. Sorry, guys. But anyway, that's that. I hope you guys found that interesting as far as the global market capitalization and where we're at the end of 2015. That was the, kind of the last chance to really get some good prices on some of that stuff. And then as 2016 went, we had some pops. We had some good things happen in 2016, and it was kind of a general trend up. And there was a few things that happened. Monero surged. Steam came out. That was a big thing of 2016 that happened. And there was the Ethereum hard fork. The Ethereum fork, Ethereum Classic, and Ethereum. So those were a few things that happened. And then 2017 blew our minds. So as we head into 2020 and we head into 2021, it will repeat itself. It will blow our minds. Follow me on all social media at Brian Phobos, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Steam it. See you guys later.